Thank you for wanting to know more about becoming a home buyer. This is our first time home buyer webinar that you're going to learn some great information today about becoming a first time home buyer and about some of the special programs. Today, my name is Harold Moore, and I'm a mortgage broker here in Fort Worth, Texas. I'm one of the top loan officers in the country. I have been ranked in the top 5% of loan officers in the whole United States. I'm definitely looking forward to giving you great information and also answering any questions that you have during this or after this webinar. Here's my contact information. Feel free to write it down. That is my direct office number, 817-887-8138. Again, it is 817-887-8138. That is my email address, harold.moore@jhmooreinc. And without further ado, let's get on with the slides. So you're wanting to become a home owner, and this is your first time buying a home. I know the process could sound really daunting about buying a home, but it's really broken down into these really simple steps. It's 9 simple steps: preparing to buy the home, exploring your mortgage options, getting pre-approved, working with the agent, finding a home, how to make an offer, preparing to close, closing on your home, and managing your mortgage. These 9 simple steps I know it kind of seems daunting, but that's why you want to work with a mortgage professional and a realtor and everybody else who is going to help you in this whole process. A lot of things that you might not have to pick on your own, and we'll talk about that more in the slides. Preparing to buy. One of the things you probably came here wanting to know is, how do I know if I'm able to buy? What are some of the steps that I need to know? What are some of the income? I'm looking at my credit, or how long do I need to be on my job? What type of down payment? So you're going to learn that on this. Determining if you're ready, understanding that being a homeowner is a big commitment. I know when I was purchasing my own home, we had to make sure it was right. Me and my wife, we were just thinking on it, and I was asking her before we actually started the process for about a year and a half, and she was just saying no, 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 and ironically, one day, just out the blue, I wasn't even asking her. At this point, I had kind of given it up for that particular year. She was like, "Oh, I'm ready." So everybody's time of being ready is different. Maybe this is not your time, but hopefully so. If you're just here for great information, this is some of the things, because everybody's process is different. Everybody's timeline is different. You want to definitely evaluate your financial situation, and think about if you want to be in that home for at least 5 years or not. Some people don't stay in the home for 5 years. Some people stay longer than 5 years. What about your income? Is it stable or is it not? And the reason why that is important, you want to think about your mortgage payment, not the interest rates, not how much you're going to put down, because at the end of the month or at the beginning of the month, you're going to be making that mortgage payment, and that's going to be dollars and cents. So you want to think about that. Are you comfortable being a handyman or not? A lot of repairs you can learn to do on your own, or you can have a handyman. It just depends on what you want to do. Well, one of the great benefits of buying versus renting a home is, you don't have a landlord, so you can do what you want. If you want to move the wall or if you want to paint, you can do it. Unlike renting, it goes back to that mortgage payment again. You're building equity as you are making a payment. So every time you make that mortgage payment, that loan goes down. And so every time it goes down, between that and what you pay or what is going up in the home value, that is your money to keep. And the mortgages can be tailored to your budget. So when we're talking about that, it is you want to think of it as, what is my comfortable amount of paying? Again, it goes back to that mortgage payment that I told you about. It's about dollars and cents at the end of the day. It might be $1,500, might be 2,500 a month, might be 5,000, might be 10,000. Everybody's situation is different. That's one thing you need to be honest and with yourself and think on how much do I want to spend at every month on my mortgage. And your mortgage, we'll break that down a little later about what goes into that actual payment. So the benefits of renting is, your landlord is responsible for any repairs and upgrades on the property. So nothing comes out of your nothing additional comes out of your pocket. So whenever you make that payment for the rental, that's it. If the roof leaks or if the plumbing goes out, or if the home needs new electrical, or if the AC goes out, that's all on your landlord to fix. You don't have to buy homeowners insurance. You'll have and sometimes you don't even have to have renter's insurance, but renter's insurance is very, very cheap compared to homeowners insurance. And moving in can be super quick. Since you won't have to sell your home or find renters. How to evaluate your financial situation. You want to think of it as this is the biggest purchase you're going to make more than likely in your lifetime. Homes is number one. The next thing is number two is a car payment or your car is usually the number one and number two biggest purchases in a person's life. Have you already started saving money in your bank account? Do you have a handle on your bills? Are you stable in your job? Do you know how much debt can you take on this new payment while maintaining your other debts? Things like student loans and car payments are big ones because they're going to be factored into your debt to income ratio. How much credit card debt do you have, and do you want to pay it off quickly? All of these things are just factors into finding out what is your budget going to be when you are ready to find out how much can I buy. That's a big question. How much can I buy? You want to think on that. How much can I buy? All of those questions are going to be things that goes into that factor. That's a big question that we always get, but lucky for you, we do have different loan options. So to help you with finding out how much can I buy, one of the things are their government-backed loans and their private investor loans, which are non-government backed. So there are benefits and negatives to both. Most mortgages are fixed rate or variable rates, adjustable. So you can have, those are going to be your only two options. You're going to, in the different term options, they're going to be 30-year, 15, 20, 25, and then some of them are even 29, 28, 27. So it varies from all the way from 30 all the way down to 10. Generally, it's the lowest loan term that you can have. Some of the benefits of a short-term mortgage compared to a longer-term mortgage is that you will build equity a lot quicker in the shorter term mortgage. When we say shorter term, like 15-year, 10-year, those notes, every time you make a payment, you're going to see a big bump up in equity. Generally on the longer term, like 30-year, 25 or 20, you're going to see smaller increments of equity. But one of the things about being here in Texas is that our equity, our home values are going up a lot quickly. So just making your mortgage payment is great. Also, the other thing that is a hidden benefit is the market. The market is steadily going up. Parts of the mortgage payments that I was telling you about. You'll have your principal and interest. That's the actual mortgage, and then you'll have taxes. So your property tax is what the tax is, and your homeowner's insurance. And then you also will have mortgage insurance if you put down less than 20% on the home. So your taxes and your property taxes and homeowners insurance can either be held in the escrow, or you can put down a little bit more, as far as about 6% or more, and you can have the non-escrow option. That means that your property taxes and homeowners insurance is your responsibility to pay out every time it's due. So that one time it's due for the year, you'll make that payment. If it's escrowed, it be collected monthly. So if you have a $5,000 property tax and homeowners insurance, that payment for the year, that'll be broken up into 12 months, and that'll be collected in your mortgage payment. How to get pre-approved is one of the greatest things, the easiest things that we can do. We've made that process very easy for us. For you, we have an online application. So if you want to go to our website, that's great. Or you can contact me on my office number or email. Again, it's 817-887-8138. That's my office number. I give it again, 817-887-8138. Or you can go to our website at JH-Moore Inc. So it's JH and then Moore, MOOREINC.com. And you can click on full application. That's what you want to click on, the full application. Once you click on there, that'll take you directly to our mortgage application link, where you can fill out the online application. Generally, it takes less than 5 minutes to actually fill out the application. It's going to ask you for very basic stuff that you probably already know. Things like your name, your birthday, your social, where you currently live at, what do you do for work, and an estimate on how much you currently make, and an estimate on how much you have already saved up for the purchase. Then it's going to be some questions, very little questions that it's just yes or no. Like I said, that takes less than 5 minutes. And if it's going to be you and somebody else applying, one person will be the borrower, the other person will be the co-borrower. Once you get to the end, just make sure you hit submit or complete, and then you will get the notifications of what documents that you need to submit in. Our pre-approval letters also is good for 90 days from the date that is issued to actually get on the contract, and then you'll have another 30 days. So to close on that home. So generally it's about 4 months that it's good for, but you have to close on that home in 4 months. If you don't close on the home in that 4 months, pretty simple to get pre-approved. We'll just generally pull your credit, make sure your financial situation is the same as it was before. Generally that can happen in 1 day, and you'll have a fresh new pre-approval letter. What determines the pre-approval amount? It's going to be down to your debt to income ratio. How much savings do you have? We have a great first time homebuyer program that allows you to put down 3% or 3.5% down. that is a whole lot less than the 20%. That reason why we have those two programs is to help first-time home buyers like yourself to get into a home that they love and want to become a homeowner, and get them to be able to start building equity at a very reasonable down payment into the home. So those are our first-time home buyer programs that helps with the down payment assistance. And it's great. Like I said, it's 3% or 3.5% down, depending on what you qualify for. That's our minimums, down payments. The income is just going to be dependent on what your gross amount is compared to your debts. Once we pull your credit, it will be whatever's on your credit report of the future mortgage payment. That's the debt to income ratio. I just talked about the credit. We're going to look at your credit, just make sure it's in acceptable shape. Right now, our minimum credit score is 580. 580 is the minimum credit score to get you pre-approved. Next thing, once we get you pre-approved, you want to work with a real estate agent. Now, real estate agents are great because they'll help you negotiate the contract, find that right home, make sure they'll help you with the areas and just pretty much be a guiding hand on going through dealing with the other side as far as the listing agents. This process is still a lot complicated because it's a lot of different moving pieces, but they're here to guide you and help you through that process. One of the things that we can help you with, if you need help with a realtor, we can refer you to somebody who can be your real estate agent. If you want to find your own realtor, a great place to always start will be your lender, me, or somebody on my team, and then we can refer you out to somebody else. You might not already know a realtor, and if you do, great, we can work with them also, and they'll be able to assist you through the process. What to expect from a realtor? Each agent is really different. They're going to have different criteria on how do they start their process of taking you out in the house hunting process. A lot of them right now is going to require that pre-approval letter, so they'll know where to take you first, because that's what's going to show them how much you can buy and your financing is in place. A lot of times the listing agents won't even show you the homes without the pre-approval letter. So that's why the pre-approval is very important to do that step first. The next thing would be how to find a home to buy. This is where you would search the online or explore your neighborhood that you want to live in. When we say explore, maybe it's just driving by the neighborhood, seeing seeing if any homes are for sale. It's going to be pretty obvious. They're going to have a sign in their yard with the contact information to the person who is handling it on their behalf, or sometimes the owner is handling it. So that's one way. The other way is, again, searching online to see what homes are available. Your realtor can help you out with setting you up on their campaigns once they get to know which neighborhood or the schools or your commute. They can set up different searches based on those criteria to make sure you're seeing the homes that you want to see in that area, or based on your criteria that you want. The next thing about buying a home, buying a house versus building a house versus buying a house. Building, the advantages of buying a house is usually it's going to be cheaper. It doesn't take a lot of time because you don't have to go ahead and wait on the house to be built. It's already built. You see the condition that it's in. It should be up to your standard, and then you can move in. Usually that can happen, and once you get under contract, less than 30 days. Some of the advantages about building a home is you'll be able to pick out the different finishes that you want. So the builder will build it based on the things that you want, like flooring, different bedrooms, the home, how it's laid out, everything that you want. So you won't have to worry about it. The next thing in your journey would be you want to make an offer. So you're gonna see that home, and you say, hey, my realtor, I really like this home. I want to put in an offer. So now that you have your budget set, you already have your financing set. That's why it's so important about getting that pre-approval, because you don't want to get to this step and say, oh, I fell in love. This is the house I want. But now I have to start all the way back to step one when we're on step 7 right now. So you want to have that in place so you can move forward. You don't want to skip the steps. And once you want to put in that offer, your realtor will write that up, send it over to the listing agent so y'all can begin those negotiations. In your offer, it will be some of the things you can request are contingencies, conditions that needs to be met before the deal is done. The seller can give you credits towards your closing costs or credits towards things that you find after you get under contract for repairs. So, and you can also buy like appliances, or they can leave appliances that could be written into the contract, or anything that you really want to ask. That's what the offer is for. And then you want to negotiate. So once the seller accepts your offer, then you or your realtor will send us the contract. Then we'll send out a loan estimate, understanding that these numbers can change. Usually it's going to be a range of about 2 to 10%, but really it's going to be around 2 to 6%. And then because we have to get all the paperwork from like title, your insurance agent that you have to pick. We have to verify all the fees that's being charged by a title. If it's in the HOA, we need their fees. So it's a lot of different moving parts that we have to get all of this information. But the loan estimate is just to give you an estimate about your final numbers. To get to the final numbers will be your closing disclosure, and that usually takes about 10 to 15 days, depending on if we can lock in your rate, if we get the appraisal back. Things of that nature has to happen before we get to the closing disclosure. But once we get to the closing disclosure, that's when we can balance the numbers, and that's when we know down to the penny how much you need to bring. And through this under contract, once you go under contract, the sellers can counter, you can counter. You're going to have things as this next slide says, you're going to be preparing for you to close on your home. So what does this mean? You're going to do a little bit of due diligence on the home, meaning you're going to have a home inspection, right? The home inspector is for you. It's for you, for your peace of mind. They're going to look at everything, your foundation. They're basically a generalist. So they're going to look at your foundation. They're going to look at your roof. They're going to look at some of the plumbing that they can see. They're going to run the water. They're going to run the AC. They're going to run the sprinklers. Just make sure the whole house is, this is the condition that is currently in. And if there is any problems, it's going to be on that report. And then from that report, you and your realtor can go back and ask for these things to be fixed. Now, there is a cost for the home inspector. Generally, it's between $200 and $500, but it's just going to vary. Depends on what you want the home inspector to do. So it could be more than 500. So it just depends on that person and their services. But that is the thing that the home inspector do. And if they point out anything on that report, then you'll go and get another person, a specialist, which they'll tell you in the report what do you need to get further inspection on. The next thing that happens would be an appraisal. So the appraisal is required for the home buying process because the mortgage company has to have an independent third party from the different. This person has no affiliation with the lender, with the realtors, with myself as the loan officer, with nobody or the homeowner. They're just a random person. Well, not really a random person, but they're a person that is trained to go and put a value on the home as they see fit based on the market data. So what they're going to do is go to your house that you're purchasing, and they're going to look at the home, take all the pictures of the current conditions, and then they're going to go back to their office, and based on their conditions and the finishes and upgrades of that home, is going to be compared to the other recent sales of a home similar to that home. And then that's how they come up with their value. So if the value is less, then you can always negotiate. If it's less than what you're going to buy the home for, but you can always negotiate for that lower price. Or you can walk away from the deal. That's one of the outs. So that's why it's always good to have a loan officer and realtor on your side who can make that happen for you. So how much are appraisals? Usually about $600, up to about $600. Could be a little bit more depending on what's going on in the market, but it always depends on your situation. Then we're going to have underwriting. So what underwriting does is they're going to verify all of your income, assets, debts, and the property details. So all of that saying, they're going to verify everything. They're going to check, double check, and triple check. And please, please, please understand that if you hide anything, it will be found. So just be upfront with your loan officer, me, or somebody on my team about what you got going on, because we're here to help. We're here. It's nothing that, generally nothing can stop you from buying. As long as we know what it is, then we can tell you how to move forward. But you really want to let us know this in the pre-approval part so we can iron out all of those details. Don't open up any new lines of credit, because at the very end, once we get the clear to close, the day before you close, every mortgage company is going to do what they call a soft pull of your credit. They're going to verify that you haven't opened up any new lines of credit, and also they're going to call your job. So this is not the time to quit, because they're going to verify that you are still employed there. No matter if you're coming up on a vacation, let the loan officer know. If you're coming up on a you're going to have short-term disability, please let your loan officer know, or a team member know. If you're going to come up on maternity leave, let them know, because all those things are going to take an impact. If you're going to have a leave of absence from your job and it's already pre-planned, you need to let your loan officer know. So all of those things are some of the things that you need to let the team know. This is the part that everybody's ready. We're going to close on your home. You went through the inspection. you went through the negotiation, you went through the appraisal, you've gotten through underwriting. Now you're ready to close your home. Now the closing disclosure comes out. You can see those final numbers. You know what you have to bring to the table. Well, you can go through the numbers. The loan officer can help you understand what all the numbers mean that's on the closing disclosure, and that goes out 3 days before. So you want to always acknowledge it, and then you want to attend your final walkthrough. Everybody's final walkthrough is a little bit different. If it's a pre-existing home, it's usually the day before or the day of closing. And that is where you walk through the home, just making sure what you saw in the beginning, what you saw at your home inspection, and what you see now, it all matches up. The home hasn't been destroyed, or things the seller hasn't taken what wasn't in the agreement to leave behind, and the property is not damaged. So you'll want to look at that. If you're in a you're building a home, your final walkthrough is going to be there also, and you'll walk through and you'll verify this is the home that I'm buying, that they built, and they're giving it to me. But generally you'll be able to see all that. What to bring to your closing: you want to always bring a valid driver's license or a valid government issue ID. So what is that? Your valid driver's license, learner's permit, ID, passport, military ID will work also. Then you want to also bring your cashier check or your wire the funds to the title company. And then your agent will contact the other side about getting the key, and they'll arrange that. Who would generally attend the closing here in Texas? It would generally be the escrow officer or notary, your realtor, and whoever else you want to bring. What is being paid off in the closing? It's going to be your upfront costs, your down payment, your escrows, your third-party fees like title fees, appraisal, title insurance, credit report fees, your per diem of interest. So what that means is if you close in the middle of the month, you're going to pay the interest from the middle of the month to the end of the month at closing in your closing costs. The HOA fees, if they have any dues, or if they have a transfer fee, it's going to be in there. And if you're paying any points just to buy down your rate to a lower rate, it's going to be in your closing costs. The next thing is your mortgage payment. Your first mortgage payment generally is not the same month. It will be in 2 months. So let's say you are buying a home in April 15th. Again, they'll collect the mortgage payment, the per diem interest payments from the 15th to the 30th, because now that home is yours on the 15th. And then your first mortgage payment will not be May 1st, it will be June 1st, because 1 month you pay your mortgage in arrears, so you haven't actually taken possession. Well, you haven't lived in a home for that 30 days of May. So you don't make a payment in May, you make it actually in June for the May month. So that's how that works. And then I just explained that. So this is the last slide. If you are definitely interested in if you're interested in moving forward, please give me a call. My name again is Harold Moore. I'm a mortgage broker right here in Fort Worth, Texas. I definitely look forward to helping you with your home buying needs. This is the First Time Homebuyer workshop. So please just give me a call, email me, and then we can go from there. As I always say, no question is not a bad question. No question is too big or too small. Just ask. Thank you for attending the home buying event.